Good morning, good morning. It's Saturday, the 4th of January 2025. It's a beautiful day today. The sun is shining. It's a clear blue sky. And it's a perfect day for the spectators who will be watching the Proteas cricket team face Pakistan on the second day of the second test. So it's perfect for them. But onto the matter for today. I've been dealing with the topic of safety and security. This is basically the fourth video on it. The last one I looked at crime and what is needed, in my opinion, for a real change to take place. I identified, for instance, stricter laws, heavier sentences, harsher prison life as a deterrent for potential criminals, better witness protection, better education and training for police services, and other matters. Today I want to look into carrying this idea still further, identifying what is wrong. One of the things I pointed out was corruption within the police service. An insider in the stations would inform the drug lord or the shebeen owner of when a police raid would take place, to ensure that they get evidence to make cases. The problem is when these people are informed, they get rid of all the evidence, and when a raid takes place, there's nothing there for the police to gain. And with the result is they know about these drug lords and shebeens, illegal ones, but and they do not get to the point where these people are convicted in a court of law. The community generally knows about this, and they always complain about, but we know where they live, we know what they're doing. It's clear to everybody. Why isn't there something being done to it? Well, it's about the law. In order to secure stopping people from perpetrating these forms of crime, they need to have evidence in a court of law and witnesses, and that is the major problem, that they don't get that. Then I would say also the need for special units to come in from outside the area to deal with these inside corruption cases. It's not that it's not being done. We do hear of special units, but they need to up their game even further, because the crime still continues unabated. Then there's the issue of case files going missing in this country. And naturally people are being paid to make sure that the case files go missing. And this is what another element or side to inside jobs. This is basically unacceptable. And as I said, the authorities in places of power don't have a will to radically tackle this issue. What I've also noticed also that the intelligence services for the police in modern day is not as effective as it used to be. They used to use informers. I don't know how much that method is used now, but generally what seems to be the problem is that the intelligence service doesn't seem to work, because when there's arson or certain actions that are legal from the community, The action takes place and the police come only afterwards when everything is burnt and they can't control the situation. Then you ask yourself, where is the intelligence? Because intelligence informs well ahead of potential actions and problems that will arise. And the informer system used to work very effectively in the pre-democratic South Africa. Now, also, you get the impression also that they don't use the method of infiltrating, illegal bodies, what is normally referred to as undercover work. These kind of things seem to be lacking, or the training for it seems to be also weak. Then another issue that I want to bring your attention to, and you probably know about these things, but I'm repeating them to you probably, the issue of forensic labs. Now, blood samples, certain materials are sent to forensic labs as to identify, who was on the scene of the crime, etc., etc. And it's come to our attention that there's far too few of these forensic labs, and the excuse generally is that the budgets don't allow for these expensive facilities to be built and to be resourced. But I personally don't buy this budget story, because when you look at how the budget is spent in these government departments, there's a lot of wastage of money, unnecessary wastage of money in areas where it doesn't count, but they neglect where it should be used. So that's another matter to look into. And this forensic labs causes this backlog in reports, and it can cause the accused to get off scot-free, because their case cannot appear in court because they're waiting on the report. So in some cases, the report somehow, for some reason or other, don't end up becoming part of the case file, and in the court of law, nothing seems to happen, and the law requires that a case cannot be too long pending. The person has, the perpetrator or the accused needs to have his human rights respected, and it cannot be held too long in this issue of having his case presented. Now, the issue also, what we all seem to hear about daily, and is the smash and grab hotspots. It's in the community, even people share information about, you must be careful on that corner there or that road there, because there's constant smash and grabs. In fact, the smash and grabs are daily. The police even know about them, and even when people come to complain at the police station, they warn the people, etc. But they cannot man the position round the clock because of the other duties, etc. So people just become victims daily of smash and grabs, and become like the norm. It's accepted, which I say is unacceptable. And the reason for these hotspots to continue is that they're so close to informal settlements. That's something to do with housing also. The informal settlements are almost on the road, built to the verge of the road, and it offers easy escape for perpetrators. They do their brazen smash and grabs and walk casually into the squatter camp or the informal settlement, and nobody can catch them. So how to solve this problem? I don't know the answer. I know it's a much bigger one. It's about the homelessness. It's about housing. It's about a whole lot of other issues. And this is where the community and the authorities need to exercise their minds, because, as I said, these things just cannot be allowed to continue unabated. Something has to be done somewhere. We can't just have this attitude that, oh well, it's just one of those things. So when we look at this and we try to look at the solution, it all comes down to politics. You know, the unfortunate reality in South Africa is that we came across this term cadre deployments. Cadre deployments. In other words, the ruling party would reward its activists with positions, jobs for their activism and their loyalty to the party or the movement. But usually the people that are placed in these positions are not capable of doing the job. And it comes down to the politics again, and that also is about the demographics of the country. Who are the majority of the people, and how do they vote? So even when people know something is wrong, they will still vote for the people that are incapable of solving the wrong. The majority will still react in their voting according to their racial past. It was so acute, it was so bad that even despite they got potholes in the streets, their services are not looked after, etc., they will still vote in a certain pattern. And this is the problem in this country, how to change that dynamic. So just in conclusion, remember I said, you know, when we're sharing the information about safety and security, there's that look of resignation to their faith. You know, people are so resigned to the fate. Oh, there's nothing that we can do about it. Oh, it's just going to be like this all the time. How do you change that? How do you change that, etc.? But I say it's basically unacceptable. Some or other, something needs to be done to change this dynamic. For one, I can say that from our community, we must hold ward councillors, people in authority, even in services like the police, etc., hold them accountable. You know, don't just allow a situation because you can't change it. You know, across the line, as we say figuratively, the community across the line, they don't allow it. They insist on services and quality services. We don't. We tolerate. We complain to our neighbor over the fence. We talk about the issues, but nobody goes to the cop station to report. Nobody goes, well, I wouldn't say nobody goes, but there are people. But, you know, when we're talking about majority and we're talking about numbers, a lot of people just talk about it, but they don't go and report it and get a case number. And this has to change. If we want change, we need to report. We need to insist on proper services. And that is what I would like to conclude with. Have a wonderful day further.